Jermall Charlo speaks and demands the Canelo Alvarez fight yet again. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang, notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the Super Chats, channel donations, the Venmo donations, the Cash App, and the Patreon family. We working. Sign up for ESPN Plus below using my link. It definitely helps my channel when you use that. You can now bundle ESPN Plus, Disney Plus, and Hulu, all three apps for $12.99 a month. And I have all three. You guys should enjoy it. Use my link in the description box to help the channel and sign up for those. Great programming. Now, Jermall Charlo did an interview. Let's jump right into it with Ak and Barack for Sirius XM Boxing, their radio show. This is what he said, and I made a video about this. Make sure you check out the other video, but I was talking about different aspects of what he said, more so the ANDRADE portion, but I wanted to make a separate video. He says, and I quote, "The only thing true about Eddie Hearns and what he's saying is he is reaching out, all right? That's all I could say. Eddie Hearn, he's only reaching out so he could not look like a clown, so he could not look like the clown. He's reaching out, but he doesn't really want to make that move, you know?" And he's referring to Eddie Hearn, saying he has this huge, massive offer for Charlo to fight ANDRADE. He's saying basically Eddie Hearn just don't want to, he's trying to save face. He don't want to look like a clown, so he has to tell the public something. So he's reaching out, you know, just for it to go through the motions, so to speak. He said, "Let's break the ice, bro, and keep it 100 because I don't do no interviews. You're my only interview. I haven't done an interview with nobody, and I don't do interviews because they change your words and they make you look like whatever they want or whatever. All I do is take care of my kids and have fun." Eddie Hearn has reached out. He's not lying about that. He has reached out, but the offer wasn't strong enough. I forward that ish straight to Al Heyman, my command team, the headquarters. They know what's going on. I am told not to respond, and I'm told not to even feed into none of that ish. So basically, I'm the WBC champ. I want to be the franchise champion. We don't even have to fight for no belts. Look, Alvarez, Canelo, he know who I am. That's all I need to know. He know who I am, and I keep doing my job. Eventually, we gonna get in that ring. Obviously, everyone in the world, they waiting on this fight. Canelo's the champion, and Canelo is who everyone is talking about. I don't hear nobody else saying DEMETRIUS, ANDRADE, or Danny Jacobs, or even Golovkin anymore. The name, all I keep hearing is Canelo, so all I want to do is fight the best in the world. Look, I want to feed my family like I told you. I'm going to go in there and put up. I'm 29, Canelo Alvarez is 29. We're both in our prime. Look, I'm 30-0. I've got enough accolades to fight him. I'm the WBC champion. I want that to happen just as much as you. But as soon as I take a fight off of this contract, they're going to say, you're already tied into this fight. That's what we've been going on for the last couple of years. Right? So he's saying he wants Canelo. He says what he's saying is true. He says Canelo is the name that's predominantly being mentioned with positivity. You know, people are still looking at Canelo as a factor versus Golovkin. You know, real talk, Golovkin really should have lost to Deryevchenko. And then ANDRADE is still relevant. I would love to see, you know, him versus any top guy. But his last performance, you know, he kind of left some to be desired because he was kind of rushing his work and stuff like that. And this is the problem with old media. This is what they do to black fighters. They say like, oh, Jermall Charlo ain't done nothing and ANDRADE ain't done nothing. But then they want Charlo, especially the racist ones, they want Charlo and ANDRADE to fight. So what does that prove? What does that prove if you won't give either of these black fighters any credit, but you want them to square off? Versus Jermall Charlo, you're saying he ain't done this, he hasn't fought who you wanted him to fight a big name, but then you're protecting Canelo and Golovkin at a point in time and saying that they have every excuse in the world to fight each other 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, but you don't want Jermall Charlo in the mix. It's fear. It's fear, people, right? Charlo also said, at the moment, I'm standing still. I'm not tied down. I'm ready to fight whoever, but I'm not pressured to throw. I'm making hella good money. I know you don't know that because you don't know what we're making. You have an idea of what we're making, but you don't know what we're making, bro. I'm making hella good money, and I'm going to stay chill until it's time to fight. Bro, I'm not injured. I haven't sustained any injuries. I'm healthy, young, and hungry. It's going to happen. The fight with Canelo is going to happen. I want the fight. I want every fight out there. Yes, sir. I want the fight. Make the offer right. That's all I'm saying. They cannot deny a great offer. I got to keep winning. And that's what he thinks he needs to do to get the Canelo fight. I got to keep focused and keep providing for my family. The fight is going to happen. If I let any of that down, then I let you feed into what really should be happening, bro. I'm 29, been boxing my whole life, entire life, and I'm ready to retire. Make that ish happen. I'm going to start preparing my retirement preparations in ish. I've done more in boxing than any of those other fighters you've named, but Canelo. I don't know. He said, I don't know what the offer is that's going to take to make the fight. I'm not going to tell you what I'm making. Give me a real offer, bro. Shoot me a real offer. We're not going to do no catch weight, and we're not going to do no fake belt, none of that ish. We're going to make that ish rock. I was mad as hell. He said he was mad as hell when Canelo got the franchise. He said WBC came out with the franchise belt and made Canelo their champion. I think it's another evolution of boxing. Maybe the franchise belt can evolve like the NBA, where the NBA only has one champion. It's like everyone in football goes to the Super Bowl, where we could start in a union and take care of real fighters that put their life on the line and get nothing behind it. Let's go back to the old days of boxing where a loss doesn't define your career. So, Charlo had a lot to say. I want to give my thoughts. I mean, he's talking about a retirement plan. I'm not really alarmed by that. I think he's saying, like, this is a dangerous sport. And, you know, really, fighters, to me, that's actually smart. Some people are going to probably take it different than me. Like, because normally I don't like hearing fighters talk about retirement. Like, but when Charlo is saying it, I don't feel like he don't sound like he lost hunger and he's saying that. I don't like more so when a fighter says, if I lose my next fight, I'm just going to retire, you know, stuff like that. Because it's like, are you even considering a loss? If you're really hungry in prime, are you considering that this guy's going to beat you, John Doe's going to beat you? You know, so certain stuff like that. But I have heard like Wilder and Charlo talk about life after boxing. So I'm not mad at it when they do it, because they still sound hungry. They're basically, the way they're depicting it, at least to me, I feel like they've outlined the next couple of years in their career, and they know they have a shelf life. There's always going to be somebody up and coming. You know, boxing is, you got to get in and get out. You don't want long-term brain damage, long-term injuries. There's life outside of boxing, and fighters in the past weren't always so smart. So, you know, we seen like Meldrick Taylor and people like that working at Kroger's and bagging groceries and stuff, former champions, like just disrespectful stuff. If you look at how legendary they were to boxing, you know, famous boxers who were 2-time, 3-time champions and stuff, that if they went to a boxing fight, I'm not talking about like Evander Holyfield or Mike Tyson or something, but if you ain't one of them, people wouldn't even know who you are type stuff. Like old legends and stuff. They might not even recognize you. They wouldn't even know who you, just think you a regular person. You know what I'm saying? So boxers don't get the same adoration once they're gone. So I'm not mad at what Charlo's saying about like thinking about, he's basically like, let's get it rocking right now while I'm here, and you know, thinking about retirement after that. So like, let's get it popping. I want to show you that I'm the best while I'm in it. So he still sounds hungry. So that's that, because I just want to address that aspect of it. And I think him and Canelo is the biggest fight Canelo could fight in America. You know, there's not that many fights like that make, barring like Floyd Mayweather, because I don't even consider the Floyd a real fight, because Floyd already dusted Canelo off, beat him easy work. He's 42. It's just not. I don't see it happening. Floyd ain't gonna fight on no app. Canelo's like tied into this app. It's just not likely, you know. And De La Hoya even said this. De La Hoya said it's not gonna happen. They're too far in weight. But that's not the case for Charlo. Charlo, I have an interview with Charlo. He says at some point he can even picture himself going to 168, and he's at 160 now, and he's big and he has a frame. You know what I'm saying? So him and Canelo can find somewhere. But he says right here he ain't doing no catch weight and all this weird stuff. Let's fight. Let's see what's up. And people are saying Canelo's the great. Let's make it rock. You know, and it's funny because old media is gonna have a problem and say he has to go through. They always want other champions like to have to prove themselves in such a way to face certain guys like Canelo, or to face Triple G at a point in time. And it's funny because especially the racist fans, they don't do this to everybody. Like Ryan Garcia, he's saying he wants to fight Gervonta Tank Davis. Tank Davis is a big star, and he's a 3-time champion in 2 weight classes. And Ryan Garcia has never been a full, you know, regular champion. All the belts, Lomachenko has damn near all of them, you know, and Tank has a secondary belt, and then Teofimo just got a belt. So Ryan Garcia has never been a champion at lightweight, but nobody tells Ryan Garcia that he needs to go beat Teofimo first to get Lomachenko. But that's what they do to black fighters. You know, they'll say Charlo, even though Canelo avoided him and didn't fight him when he was the mandatory, even though Golovkin avoided him, didn't fight him even though he was the mandatory, didn't fight Deryevchenko when Canelo failed a drug test. He passed up to fight Vanes Matarosa in Triple G. And then they'll say Charlo got to fight Jacobs, Charlo got to fight Andrade. Jacobs is at 68 now. Andrade is a champion, yes, but you know why Charlo wants to fight Canelo. He keeps telling you because people are saying Canelo is the best. He's basically saying what. See, this is old media is so stupid that they don't realize. In your effort to try to protect Canelo or Golovkin or the fighters that you want to protect, that you have to ridicule guys like Charlo and Andrade, and then you wonder why Charlo's more pressed and more pushing for the Canelo fight, because he knows he'll get nothing but full, uncut, unadulterated respect if he beats the guy that the perception is this guy is the most skilled in the division and he's popular. We know Andrade is skilled, but his resume doesn't compete with Canelo for a variety of different reasons. So how can you blame Charlo for being more interested in fighting the bigger name, which would represent a bigger paycheck, but also the name that's undeniable with the undeniable resume? You'll get more just off of that. You know, it's just like, let's say you're a realtor and you are showing houses. Like, yeah, let's say you have a little small townhouse that you want to show, and the price is, let's say, $150,000, versus you're a realtor that gets commission and you show a couple a mansion. You know, the guy's a lawyer and his wife is a, you know, registered nurse or something, and you show them a mansion. You would be more interested in closing the mansion. It's not, you know, it's not like you don't want the commission from $150,000 house, but in the grand scheme of things, if you close this mansion, you're going to get a higher commission, and, you know, it's going to do a lot more for you and move the needle in the proper direction, selling the mansion, the more expensive property, to this couple. After showing them, your commission check is going to be much greater. So that's what Charlo is doing. So many fans talk about Andrade's boring, and, you know, see, this old media, they end up shooting themselves in the foot. I give Andrade all the props in the world because I think he's a quality fighter and an Olympian. He's skilled. He has the talent to perhaps beat anybody, but we have to see it. You know, but old media is so stupid. They're sitting up here trying to make Demetrius Andrade look horrible and say he's boring, say his resume is lacking and stuff like that. And then now you want Charlo to be, you know, more interested in what Eddie Hearn's talking about fighting Andrade than Canelo. Canelo is the mansion. if Charlo beats Canelo, there's nothing you can say. And that's what the man fans, the Canelo man fans, are afraid of. Charlo been pressing both of them, you know, because Canelo was at 54. They both talked about fighting Canelo for years. Now that one moved up, Big Charlo moved up to 160, Canelo's at 160 to 175. He still want that smoke. And that's what the man fans are afraid of. They know Charlo's a threat. You only see this. You don't see anybody from old media say that Rocky Fielding ain't sold enough tickets, or nobody knows him, or he's boring, or he don't got this and he ain't got no chin, and all these excuses. You just see Canelo fight these guys, no problem. Listen, new media, I told you, it's a whole different space in boxing. We control the narrative. The bottom line is this: we suffered through Canelo versus Amir Khan. Then if you thought Amir Khan, that was an actual fight that Golden Boy made, if you thought Amir Khan and James Kirkland, you know, were worthy fights and worthy opponents for Canelo at the time that he fought them, and they deserved to fight, even though Amir Khan got rocked in his fight right before Canelo with Chris Algieri in the first round, and Chris Algieri was coming off a 6 knockdown loss to Pacquiao, and he moved up to the full 147 where he had been fighting at the Pacquiao catch weight of 143 and 140 previously. So it was his first fight at 47, and he was in a tough competitive fight with Amir Khan that he lost, but he even hurt Amir Khan in that fight. That's the performance that Canelo fought Amir Khan before or after. And he was out of the ring for over a year. So if we suffered and watched that, then why can't guys like Charlo and Andrade get an opportunity? We just watched Canelo fight Amir Khan. So we know Charlo is more durable. Who's ever knocked Charlo down? Amir Khan been knocked out a couple of times and hurt and buckled and dropped. He got dropped by Samuel Vargas, dropped by Julio Diaz, Willie Lyman. He got dropped by, obviously, Bradis Prescott, Danny Garcia before the Canelo fight, etc. So this is proof that the old media, they don't want it. They don't want it. They know Charlo's a threat because, again, we've watched, unless you can tell me that Canelo has never fought someone that you think is less of a threat than Charlo, then there's nothing you can say. Plus, Charlo's a champion. He's hungry, and he's calling the man out. He doesn't have to take a bunch of additional steps. You know, he doesn't have to go and fight this guy and that. He's a champion. Canelo should want to establish that, especially if he's having trouble making the Ryota Murata fight. Billy Joe Saunders and Caleb Smith both rejected his offer. Like Charlo's saying, look into it. Take that. Give him a real offer, and then, you know, try to make that happen. And the thing is DAZN is just such a weird business model because that's a pay-per-view fight. Canelo versus Charlo is a pay-per-view fight, and for whatever reason, DAZN has alienated themselves and came in the game saying they were gonna succeed without pay-per-view. I would happily pay pay-per-view for Charlo and Canelo fight. You know what I'm saying? So Charlo's being real. He says, yeah, you got to make a real offer, because that's a worthy fight. It's a risk for both of us. It's a risk for everybody. So I like Charlo's energy. Like he says, sounds like he knows what he needs to do. He just has to keep working, keep plugging away, keep winning. The pressure is going to be there. You know, if he keeps winning, you know, Canelo's going to have to fight him at some point, or it's going to, you know, he said that. He said, Canelo got to fight me before he retires. So let me know what you guys think. I thought Charlo had some good words. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. If you love what I'm doing, smash the like button. We working. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxingego, the future of boxing.